Me and my buddy recently went out to a stocked trout lake near my house, and it actually had a very biodiverse ecosystem. I've been going here for years of my life now, and in this trip, we actually went out fishing, and we also did a walk of the whole lake here and looked for salamanders and different frogs, different things like that. I'm going to be showing off all those guys after this. This was the biggest fish I caught. It's just a stocked rainbow trout. It was around 13 and a half inches. The guy was really cool. But in this video, I'm going to show off all of the species that I found. So this is a bullfrog that we found, and he was actually really cute. He kind of just did a handstand there, and these guys were absolutely everywhere. We saw these guys all around the pond when we did a walk of the perimeter looking for all the different types of species. We saw these guys and a couple other different species of frogs that I'll show off. But bullfrogs have to be my favorite looking. I actually know the least about them just because they're so widespread and common. I usually focus my efforts on the species that kind of need my help. But these guys are really cool to see. They're actually one of my favorite frogs. And another really cool thing about this pond is every time we go, it has the most healthy population of rough-skinned newts. And these guys are pretty uncommon in my area, honestly. The last rough-skinned newt I found was in Tillamook, which is almost 2 hours away from my house. And I really never see them. So seeing as many as I have in this pond has been awesome. Another thing I found was this northern red-legged frog. These guys are actually endangered, but recently I've been seeing so many of them in a lot of healthy ecosystems near me, and that's been awesome to see. But with no further ado, we are going to get into my favorite catch of the year. I am so stoked to be able to have found this guy. So this is actually a red spotted garter snake. These guys are really rare where I'm at in Oregon. I haven't really seen much of them at all, and this is the biggest snake I've ever caught in Oregon. So this guy was absolutely awesome, and I'm so glad to have gotten him up close for the camera. I also apologize for the underwear shot in that clip there. But this is the snake. It was so docile, it did not strike at us once. All this snake was interested in was combing the edge of this pond here and looking for minnows and frogs, tadpoles, everything like that that is recently hatched. And just by doing that, it's gotten absolutely massive. We saw a couple different snakes on this trip. A lot of them were the common garter snake, western garter snake. I usually really never see these snakes, and that's why it's been so cool to show this guy off. The red spots on the side of him are just gorgeous. The head of this snake was huge and red. It was absolutely so cool. And the underbelly of the snake actually had a blue hue to it. I wish I had gotten a picture of that, but it was something I overlooked before letting this guy back into the wild. And this is just him leisurely swimming along. So these garter snakes actually do exceptionally well in the water and in the cooler environment. Because I'm here in Oregon, it's always really cold, and I don't really see reptiles here at all. So seeing a snake this beautiful in Oregon has just been so cool. And I also have a couple pictures I'll show here at the end. This snake was beautiful, a once-in-a-lifetime catch, really. And for the rest of the trip, I really didn't find much, so I have a couple pretty shots of where I was. And then I also have a shot of a really big banana slug that I found on this trip under a log. And I definitely think that once this guy's fully extended out, he's 10 inches to 12.